Welcome to the Army Empire Podcast, your go-to podcast for insightful tips on investment strategies, entrepreneurship, and all things money matters. Join Bernard Alerte, your guide on this journey to financial freedom. Each episode will dive into expert advice, practical strategies, and inspiring stories to help you take control of your financial future. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or a seasoned investor, we've got something for everyone. So get ready to unlock your financial potential and make your money work for you. And now, let's welcome your host, Bernard Alerte.
Hello, family.
Hi, how you doing?
Hello. I'm good. Y'all looking really nice today. I love that we have a guest speaker today.
Yes, excited. Really excited to be here. We missed you guys last week.
Yes.
We had
What happened?
our daughter gave birth to the
Francis.
second granddaughter, Francis Sarah Harper. So
I love that. Congratulations to the grandparents. Congratulations to your daughter. Yes, it was actually that same day. She was like going into labor on Tuesday.
Yeah, that day is like, okay, we're at labor. We're in hospital until I guess from more. She was there in the morning from 4 a.m. on.
Yeah,
and she didn't want to come out. So she's like, I don't want to come out. I'm not ready yet. Until about like 11 o'clock. I think 11:45 that night. So it was.
That is amazing. Well, congratulations. Yeah, it was really exciting. We were already getting close to podcast time when I got the text from Bernard. We're in the hospital. It's labor time. Let's put a replay on. But we're excited to have Eileen on today and tell us, Coach, what we're going to be talking about today.
Oh, wow. We're going to talk about, we went over this topic, I think episodes back. We talked about the 7 F's, the things that we all need to focus on as men, also everyone focus on for us to get a better life, better to have better quality of life, things to focus on to get better at. And it's crazy because our church is having a series right now called Family Matters, right? Talk about family, like a whole series for a month. And I think it'll be great for us to cover the 7 F's, but we always go from an individual perspective, but we never talked about it from like a partnership perspective, from husband and wife, the dynamics of how to make that work,
Ooh, so we're talking about the 7 F's in partnership. I love that. That's a great intro. We all need this. Everyone needs this. So we're looking forward to this. And this is a part 1 of how many parts?
Just 2 parts. We're gonna try to do 2 series, 2 parts of it, because we're gonna have covered 3 today, and another 4 for next week. And this is probably one of the hardest podcasts that we're gonna be doing for me, because it's gonna require a lot of transparency from my part. From being very transparent, being very vulnerable, and I think it's very important because the challenge that people have is a lot of people. We live in like on a social mass. Everyone has like you never see the real, and and you never see the real person. We never see the real person, what happens. And sometimes like there's no such thing as perfect,
Right.
And all broken in some way, always working on things in a certain way. There's no such thing as a perfect family. That doesn't exist. Right. Yeah. And we wanted the things that we've learned ourselves, things that we are working on, right? Us to get better at, and at the same time, so people can have like, I guess, a framework. To know exactly, okay, let me get better at that, because otherwise, when you see out there in social media, you feel like, oh my gosh, you feel so inadequate. Oh my gosh, everything's and it's very deceiving, and we're going to talk a lot about that too.
Fantastic. I like that, because sometimes even we may be going through a season where we're doing really well, but sometimes we fall off. We fall off track. And being able to watch this and have that framework, like you just said, will allow us to get back on track, but we need to be transparent. So I get what you're saying. That's good. That's good. All right, here we go, people. Don't forget to share, to comment, to like. For those that are watching on social media, we appreciate you being here with us.
Yes. I mean, what are 7 F's? Just to refine the 7 F's. So number 1 is faith. Work on your faith. Family. Firm, which means your business, right? The 4th is your finances.
Or your career.
Career. Right? Fitness. friends, and also fun, which is the most part of funds. So those are 7 things we need to strive or improve. Maybe on a daily basis. Maybe can't everything on a daily basis, right? But at least be on a weekly or monthly basis to have part of our agenda to get better at those things.
Nice.
True. So what's partnership? What people say, well, what is different in partnership? I mean, there's a lot of different definitions, but partnership we feel is two or more people coming together towards the achievement of worthwhile goals, right? Mm-hmm. All coming together in all different aspects, yeah, which is good. So let's talk about partnership. Number one is no two partnerships are alike, right? Everybody's different. When you think about in faith, it was totally different. We grew up differently. She can tell you, Eileen can tell you about how she grew up in faith. She grew up in church her whole life, right? You can talk about it.
Yeah, I was a PK second generation. So church, my grandfather founded a church. My mother took over, then another pastor. So he grew up Catholic. So we, came with two different perspectives on our God. I think you had mentioned that you saw God as something you feared.
Yes.
Chastising.
Yes. I didn't like church.
No.
I did not. I didn't like church. I refused, and it was challenging in the beginning because she grew up all her life in church, and I grew up like I didn't like it. I didn't want to go to church. Church was not something I wanted to do, and I'm being very transparent, and it was a lot of adjusting and growth that we had to do in the beginning when we got together.
Yeah, I remember telling you, he's like, why every Sunday I work on Sunday? I said, listen, you have the whole week. God gave you the whole week. He's just asking for 2 hours. Mm-hmm. You could give 2 hours. Schedule your appointments after 2:00. It's okay. He didn't understand, so I just put him in the Lord's hand. And then he told me one day, you know what? I'm gonna go with you with the kids. And then he just understood that time, because then he started to learn the word.
Yes.
He didn't know. He started to have a relationship with God, and not just in a building where you just say prayers and you routine and customs. It was a real relationship. I mean, you could talk about
yes.
It
changed a lot, and that's when everything changed for us. I mean, personally wise and business wise, and I had a low self-esteem. When people know me, I had low self-esteem a lot. Even in my business, it was very, very challenging because we live the shame sometimes. Sometimes if you don't know that you are loved, and you live with shame, and you think, oh, I'm not worthy of this. So even something good can come to you, and you're like, I'm not worthy, and you find a way to mess it up, to sabotage it. So to help me understand that I'm loved, it's very important, not only my personal life, also my business life, and all different aspects. It helped me so much with faith wise, and it's a journey, and I'm still working, and I'm still working hard on my prayer life. That's something that I'm struggling with, and I'm trying to get better at, and putting that time in. And it's just being very transparent, And
we all walk through that.
Yeah, and if you think about also in a partnership and a family perspective, we had to have different roles, because not every family is different. Sometimes you have we had like everybody together. It seems like it's perfect, but it's just totally different sometimes.
We had a unique situation where we're blended, but a blended family, right? I had 2, I'm sorry, 3, and then we had one. That's 4. Then we had your son, so that's 5. We also had like an adopted one, and we were blended, and it was, plus I co-parent, so my children's father was in the picture and would be in their lives every weekend. We would eat dinner together. We would have barbecues. We made sure that the children were loved and secure, and they grew up, confident and not lacking any love, no animosity, none of that, because we put the children first. And that's
not every scenario.
That's not every scenario.
No two partnerships are alike. No two scenarios family wise alike. Sometimes there's conflict, unfortunately.
Definitely, yeah.
Well, we worked at it. It didn't just happen. We had to compromise. Like, babe, Sarah, they're coming over. They're going to pick them up. And he's like, yeah, no problem. So I really thank God for my husband and his attitude towards the whole situation, because it could be uncomfortable, having your ex come in and, but he was very loving, and he knew how close the kids were to their father, and he had a son, so he felt the same way.
Same way too, because I had the different dynamics also on the other side. So it is no two partnerships like, no two dynamics alike, and that's why sometimes is don't compare sometimes, and we're going to talk about a couple of slides down. Important not to do that. Business wise, we had to rules change, evolve during the partnership, right? Family wise, listen, she's much closer to the one thing. She is much closer to the kids than I am. I can be transparent with that, because she's been. I'm working, and and that's something I need to get better at myself also, to be more present. Okay, so sometimes you're there, but your brain's your mind's working.
He's not off
all the time. Is my mind does? I have my mind switching off sometimes, right? And it's something that it's a struggle to get better at, to be able to be present a lot of times with the family. She's more. One thing she's done a great job being present, being very present with the dynamics of the family, which is important. And I'm more involved in business. So there's times in the beginning where we worked in business together. We did that in the beginning. Then we were very involved, 100% involved. But as things change, our family changed. The kids needed her more than ever. So that changed a lot during
also,
that time.
Health-wise,
that changed a lot. So to the point that I'm spending more. She helps with the business, but we do most of the work, and
he's
great.
In the field, totally.
And
in the field.
she's involved a lot also with the family more. Makes them family more. My mom's with us.
That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, which is important. I mean, if you third one, you have to set goals that's important for both of you, right? That's something that's important. I think one thing that happens a lot of times I've seen in relationship is people go in two different directions. Everyone, which happens because sometimes you have husbands going one way, focus on one thing, going to work, and wife, the spouse is going the other way, right? And you go in two different directions, and it's very important to have common ground. Sometimes you have a different journeys, but you need to have common ground where you're going, because what happens is that creates conflict sometimes. So one thing we've done, we've done pretty good. We set goals that we're both like, that's important for both of us. What's important, and there's things that's important for her that she wants to accomplish, and I have to be able to respect that. And there's things that's important for me, but no matter what, we're going the same direction. One thing,
that's a good one.
Because it's like if you're driving a car down a highway, right? And if you have like a bad wheel alignment, it's just a bad accident waiting to happen. And also in partnership, when you have people going same, it's hard when you have different faith. It's hard. People have different faiths. That's one aspect. Going set to goals, that's important, because your values change sometimes because of that. It's very, very challenging. Even business wise, this is what we're gonna work on. This is what we're gonna get better at. Family, be in sync with the family. How are we gonna raise your family together? The values, how you're gonna raise your kid. Because sometimes you have two different dynamics. We had two different dynamics. I was raised one way. She was raised a certain way. But thank God, we had great examples as parents. We had a great example as parents that my parents married for 50 plus years until my dad unfortunately passed away years ago, and her parents been married for I think 55, 57 years, right? And so we had great examples there, to follow, but that's not everyone. Not everyone. Sometimes you gotta create. Sometimes you might come from a dysfunctional situation, but you gotta make a decision that you're not gonna follow that you're gonna change. You're gonna make a decision that you're gonna change the way it goes. That just because what you went to doesn't mean that you have to go to the same pattern your parents
you have
went to.
Break that.
You have to break that cycle too.
I find that two things happen. You either fall into the same thing, or you make the decision not to.
Yes.
So you have an example of what you don't want. So that's where you go. But sometimes people say, well, that's the only thing I saw. Well, what happened to not doing what you don't want?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And it's very challenging because I had my challenge. I had high standards because it's crazy. I mean, I see that. I see her parents. They're like in love, like all on top of each other all the time.
They're like teenagers.
They're like teenagers, like follow, like
they can't
be apart. They can't
breathe without each other.
And her dad is such a high. I mean, the way he is, like so caring and like unself. And I had to struggle with that. Like, oh my gosh, I can't be. I was like, I can't. I was intimidated.
I didn't know this until the other day.
Yes, I says I'm like, I see how your dad expect. I don't know if I can raise that stare. It was totally it was very very intriguing. And I told him, like, wow, I don't know if I can do it.
I was like,
he was so.
And what did I tell you? I said I fell in love with you because you remind me of my dad.
Yes, good.
I know.
Yeah, so it's very it was different. It was different, and but yeah, you have to do, and also if you think about it, you have to embrace. I think it's very challenging. You have to embrace each other's differences and strengths. Yes. Everybody has differences. We all different. What makes great about life is we all different. We see things differently. We see things from a different perspective. We come from and that's okay, because we have there's things that she's very good at, and there's things she's good at I might be weak at. There's things I might be pretty good at, and she's not strong at, but that's okay. We have to learn to embrace each other, use each other. How do I get the best out of, each other's strength working together? And sometimes we disagree on certain things, right? Mm-hmm. Listen, I have a challenge. Like one of my things I just realized recently is I don't like to be put on in a box. Mm-hmm. That's something I have it's like and I didn't think about. There's a rebellious part of me, right? That's there. I don't like to be put under a box. I don't like to be predictable. I don't like to be put under a box. I don't like to. I don't like, oh, you're this way, Bernard's this way, Bernard's that way. And that's just, and you know what? And for years I fought that, because years I was trying so hard to like please, to be a people pleaser, right? To please people, to be able to fit into, oh, you're this way, that way. And recently, and I'm 55. Recently, I realized I'm in a rebellious stage. I don't know if it's too late, where I don't want to fit under a box. I might older, but I don't want to act like an old person. I don't want to do that. I might be in a financial field, but I don't want to bore. I have my own personality of doing stuff. Yes. I don't want to fit in a box. I'm not this way. Yes, I do have tattoos. I just have that. Like, oh, you did. No, I'm just, it's a rebellious part of me, but I realized that's a part of me sometimes. And I'm adjusting that, because sometimes, like, okay, I don't want to cooperate sometimes, right? It's just a part of me. So it's weird, but it happens. But embrace each other's strength. That's what's good. Because if you have two people that think the same way, feel the same way, and everything, that's boring. That's boring. If you agree on everything, the way I look at it, if you agree on everything, then how do you question someone? How do you know? Like,
how are you challenged?
How you challenge if everyone thinks the same
for
way?
Growth,
right? But the key is we could disagree without being disagreeable, right? And that's something. It's just learning to get better and different aspects.
Sometimes it doesn't. We could disagree, and then you want me to see your point, and I just let it be.
Yeah,
because I also choose my battles. Like, okay, no, I'm gonna stand for this. You're gonna listen why this is not good.
Yes.
Or I'm gonna let you hit the wall a couple of times, and you come back and go, what was that you said again? It takes a lot of getting to know each other, and what are those boundaries, and what are those limits, and how I could push him, how he could push me, things like that. Partnership is important.
It's important with that to be, and that's something that couples struggle with, because like, oh, it's not like this person, not like that. It's okay. It's not. They're not supposed to be. It's different.
I don't even know why people look at other couples. It's like God gave you me.
Yeah.
and I got to deal with you. So let me get to know you.
You have to deal with me. Yes.
Yeah. So let me deal with you. Like, I have no time to look at anything else.
Yes.
I mean, the only time I look at another couple is if I admire them and their mentors, like our pastors and like my parents, my pastors that passed away. Things like that is where I want to strive to, where they're examples and they've been vulnerable also, because your mentors can let you know that they've fallen too.
They struggle, yes.
They struggle. The journey's not easy. You know, that I need to know. When you can connect that way and feel like they're not intimidating or making you feel like less or like you're, oh my God, you're so messed up. Then I think that's where the connection happens and where the trust is and where you're open. You're open to advice, suggestions, and things like that.
Absolutely. How about that? And yes.
I can't hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. I love that.
Absolutely.
What's the next one?
Yeah. If you look at the next one, right? Like if you look at and that's part important. And
we were just saying
which
this.
is do not, I repeat, do not compare yourselves to other partnerships. Do not do that. See, you don't know the changes they went through or are going through right now, because everyone wears a social mask.
So true.
What you see on the outside may not be what's happening behind closed doors. So I think a lot of times is, and that's something that's important, because sometimes you see, like especially in social media, like I said earlier, you see, my God, pictures, all the good stuff. They're hugging and kissing and perfect. The kids behave and yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and all these different things, right? And you feel like inadequate. You feel like, oh my God, summer. It's like when you walk by somebody's like a nice neighborhood, right? And you see like a Range Rover, Mercedes in a driveway. You see a beautiful house. You might even go to the house, everything's clean, but you don't know stuff they have. You don't know what's happening. So don't compare.
Positive or negative. You don't know how blessed they are.
You'd be surprised that things I go to. That's why don't compare. Don't put people on a pedestal. Don't compare yourself to other partners. Do not compare your spouse or your partner to every aspect. You might go to church and you see somebody worship and they're like, oh my gosh, and they saying the word, everything like that, and they seem like they're in sync as a couple, like, oh my gosh, they worship together, sir, everything is perfect, oh my gosh, and they say, I mean, they pray, I mean, you get intimidated, oh my gosh, I wish you could. You don't know what they went through or what they're going through. You'd never know. So never ever compare yourself, your partnership or your relationship on different aspects when it comes to your faith. Don't compare, right? Your journey is your own. Families, don't compare that, because you see the kids, careers, things like that, and don't compare. Even their business, don't compare. Sometimes even in our business that's different. You don't compare because you don't know. You don't know what's happening.
It could be something two ways, positive, negative. It could be something that they're showing off, or they could be so blessed. And you gotta either way.
And they went through something, yes. And
give it to them.
They've overcome that. So sometimes they went through that process. Maybe what they went through, they're at the 28th chapter of the book, and you're still at the 10th chapter, but you don't know what that 10th, 11th chapter was.
No.
You didn't know what the 11th chapter was, and that's why you have to, it's very important and not to compare and stuff.
Y'all are preaching.
I remember I was giving a huddle, speaking to the people that serve. We were in charge, right? And I told them, "Do you know why I clap so hard?" And they're like, "No." I said, "Because I couldn't clap. My hands hurt from the surgeries I've had. So I excessively clap like retarded because I'm so grateful."
Let's take that out. Let's take that word out. Yes, okay.
Yeah, everybody knows what I mean.
Yeah.
I excessive because I'm grateful. Maybe I worship loud because I'm grateful. I've been through the fire. I've been through the process. Like Bernard was saying, you don't know. You just really don't know different aspects. That's something that's important, right? Number 6, be an asset to your partnership, not a liability. Be an asset, not a liability to your partner. And that's something. Be the one that's, like, I want to
you're contributing one way or another, not a liability. Now you're causing, you're giving and not just taking away. Yeah, you're giving, not taking away.
That is so good.
Yes, wow. in every aspect, like we talk about faith, be an asset, maybe sometimes you may have to be the one that has more faith. Maybe your partner's weak sometimes. Their faith is being challenged, and they're
going through their
and you have to step in and have faith. It's gonna be okay, it's gonna be fine, and you may have to be strong, and vice versa. That's gonna happen. Family wise, you may have to the point like someone like you say, I can't do with the kids, whatever it is. You may have to step in back in some aspect, but be an asset, not a liability. And that's something that's so important, that make sure you do that, Yes. And that's something
are you referring to also, because we talk so much about finances here, obviously that's the main topic. Someone who is really good at budgeting, but then you have the other one who doesn't, or is racking up the credit card debt. Meanwhile, you're trying to save. That you're looking at your partner then as a liability rather than an asset.
Exactly. And you have to come together with that. You have to come together to make sure you do that. And listen, it's something also in business. I always tell people in business, like, if you're going to go in the same direction, make sure you go in the same direction, because sometimes, like, I speak to spouses sometimes. I say, listen, your spouse is very excited about doing this. They're very driven about doing this. The worst thing you want to do right now, you may not like the results happening right now, but the worst thing that can happen is you force them to, let's say, you need to stop. And what happens at that point in time? You just kill that person's spirit. You just hurt that person's spirit. And what happens is you have a broken partner. That you might get your way. You might win, or you might get your way, but you're killing. You're being a liability. You're taking away. You're taking away from your spouse, and nothing good's gonna come out of it. It's like a bank account. If you're withdrawing more than you give, it's like a bank account. If there's more withdrawals and deposits, and guess what happens? That bank account is gonna be negative, and it's gonna close. And it's the same thing when you're in a relationship. If you're actually taking away
more than
you're taking away faith wise. You're taking you're trying to take their faith away. You're trying to family wise take family time away, or business wise. You're hurting the business. You're not helping in the business. You're causing and you're being a liability, and eventually nothing's good going to come out of it until you kind of change, adjust. Number 7, which you have to communicate and maybe over communicate. Communicate and maybe, or it's better to over communicate than under communicate. Communicate as much as possible. Say something 2, 3, 4 times if you have to. So make sure one thing is, make sure you get your point. You let them know how you feel, and don't hold back. One thing it's very hard for me. Like the way we're different is, if something bothers me, I gotta deal with it right away. I can't. I'm not the kind of person, okay, let me hold it in and just hold it later on, because then my mind starts working the wrong way. So I said,
and I am the opposite.
She's the opposite.
I have to process, because I do not want to say something I do not mean. So that's why it takes time for me to come to a point. Okay, I can talk about it now because I process and I have the right words, because I can be very truthful, but like a sword.
Yes.
So because I know myself, I stop, I process, and it may take a day or two, because I'm trying to process what's happening, what I want to say. How did I take that right? Did he mean this? Am I overreact? I have to process. He has to come out and say it, and he doesn't say it like, he just has to get it off his chest, so he does the opposite, and it lingers, and then he starts thinking of things that are not true.
Yes, and
they see 2 different ways.
It's different look at it, exactly. And we and by doing that, we use the strategy of correction, protection, and direction. So when we communicate, it's correction, protection, and direction. And what does that mean? Correction, that means, okay, this adjustment needs to be made. See, I'll tell, for example, the process of correction means, listen, we need to get better at this because I'm trying to protect you because this is going to cause challenges, and give direction. And you use that process in everyone you talk about, because sometimes we're quick to correct, but we're not trying to protect the person.
We're just trying to be right.
You're trying to correct, and we have to protect your spouse also.
Wow.
We have to correct and protect. Sometimes we just choose to correct. But the only reason I want to correct is to protect my spouse. Only reason she wants to correct is just to protect, and also let's reshift, let's recalculate and go a different direction. You know, which is important.
But but you can do that with how you say, with communication. If you know the way I can receive things correctly, then that's the part of correction, knowing how to speak to your spouse.
Right.
Because you can come out, yeah, I'm trying to protect you, but yeah, the way you came at me, I just shut down in the part of the correction. I don't see no protection.
Yes.
So it's your style, your delivery.
Intent has to be there. If you make it everything, okay, what's the correction needs to happen? I need to show now we're trying to protect and direct. And let this how we can adjust.
And that goes with the family,
Yes, and every aspect, the family, how we deal with the kids, to correct. The reason we correct our kids to protect them and show them why we correct them. Because I realize sometimes is you can't just say, okay, well, don't do this just because I said so. That worked for us, right? That worked for us, but listen, it may not.
Don't say it.
Why? And you have to show them that you want to correct them, to be able to protect them, and give them direction also, which is important.
So good.
And number 9, here's the hard part, and this is the hard part. This is the hardest part for me, right? Is we try to wake up every day and ask, what can I do to make my partner's life better? It's what can I do to make my partner's life? And that's hard. It's hard because we're selfish by nature a lot of times, and we focus so much on what we gotta do, what's important for us, and we don't think about that. And it's very challenging. And that's something I'm working on getting better at, because I'm like, okay, what can I do today? What can I do? With the intent, because what happens is, I think when we do that, it changes everything. It changes our perspective. It changes our focus, and we become less self-centered, and we actually be able to. And we don't know. And it's hard. It's hard. That's the hardest thing to do, right? That's the hardest thing to do. But that's something I think it's important. It's important.
I don't find it hard, because I think in the woman's perspective, the way I grew up is like we're there to serve our husband. So I'm already thinking like, okay, is everything, his needs, even cleaning the house, is the shower clean for him? Is the clothes, the closet, is he comfortable? Is he safe in the house? Am I taking care of the kids so he don't have to take care of the kids? I take care of his mother so he don't have to worry about that. So I think it's more in our nature. I don't know. What do you think, Liz?
Yes.
To do that?
It is, but there's also
in what aspect are you talking about?
And so many of this aspect emotionally, and sometimes you're going through something and you don't know, especially as even women go through a lot of things, and men, we go through a lot of stuff also. It's sometimes we feel weak, but we can't show doubt, feel hurt, because we're supposed to be strong, and you doubt yourself as men. We question ourselves, and sometimes you don't know sometimes, but it's very hard unless you ask the questions. It's very hard to, and it's so many different. Everybody's different, and that goes in different aspects also. And also schedule time alone to recharge and celebrate. Celebrate sometimes. Take some time alone, family wise. Take some time. Schedule some time alone to recharge, to go together. We try to do one time is we're fortunate enough the company sends us on two trips a year, expenses paid. One, we'll take a family, but the second we'll go ourselves all together alone.
Smart.
Like we're going to Colorado alone in August. We're gonna go alone together, but everybody's not like that. Okay, we're fortunate. You might be in a position where a company pays you a trip, but use that time, even if you go away for the weekend, just to spend time together. That makes a big difference. Every once in a while, to kind of
You have
lock
a lot of
everything
little.
down.
You have getaways that you go to, right?
Getaways.
Lots of them. Even if that means it's just a night at a hotel in a different city up the road.
Out,
You know
out of the house, out of the
You're
house.
allowed-
That makes a big difference too. You know?
Yeah. So you can have a full 24 hours where it's just the two of you.
And yeah, and I think it's important to revisit those how you say, those goals and the things that you want, because sometimes things adjust according to what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same way you have meetings, you know, like in the business, you have to have those meetings and say, hey, are we going to push back? Is it going to be a year from now or 6 months? Like I asked him, oh, are we going to hit this goal like by summer or the end of the year? And he said, no, by the end of the year it's going to be done. So then, okay, then we need to readjust what we're doing so that we can meet, because we thought we were going to hit it in the summer. Okay, so now is the end of the year. So
absolutely,
that's the time where you have no distractions.
Yeah, and you strategize and recharge.
Absolutely, everything. And I think that's something you could be in a grind so much that you don't take time alone sometimes to recharge, to relax. That's important also. You know,
love that.
Listen, success is a journey, not a destination. You just got to stay the course and try to be the best example for your family and your team, wherever you work with, and be the hero for your family. That's pretty much just it. Success is a journey and not a destination. I think it's like, and it's never like, okay, this is the perfect way we're going to go. It's just you're growing and you're changing, you're evolving as a person. There's things you get better at, things you need to work on. We have so many things we need to work on. And it's just a fact of life. But the key is, don't beat yourself. Just stay the course and adjust. It's like a GPS, just like God does with us also. It's like a GPS, right? God does say, okay, sometimes GPS, you take the wrong turn. Guess what? GPS, if you get a wrong turn in the car doesn't say, well, that's it. Okay, you know what? Forget it. I'm done. No, recalculate. You could take 5, 10 wrong turns, detours, and guess what happens? It'll tell you recalculate. You'll find a way to try to get you back to where you're supposed to go. And it's the same thing God does for us in our lives. The same thing that we always have the perspective. Sometimes you might be off. You might feel like you're going the wrong direction, or different as a partnership. The key is let's recalculate. Let's find a way to just get back on track. You know, get back on track. Anything can change. Anything can get better. Don't give up. Don't think because this is the way it is, it's going to get worse. Anything can change. You know, you got to have faith that God can change. God can perform miracles. God can perform miracles. God can change your relationship, can change what's happening, can help things improve, can give you a different insight, different perspective. Sometimes you may have to go outside and get the help outside. Sometimes you may not have the answers, but that's okay. That's okay to get help outside, to speak to someone that's going to help you. There's no shame in that. It's not like, oh my gosh, every coach needs a coach. Think about why is it when you're an athlete needs a coach to get better? Yeah. And us as spouse, we feel like we don't need a coach to help us improve.
Oh my gosh.
We are in a relationship. Everyone, just like your finances, you need a coach, financial coach, right? And sports, you need a coach to give you plays. It's the same thing. You might be in a relationship. You might need a coach or someone that's going to help you. Somebody maybe that's been through what you went through, or that's going to help, or have the resources to help you, or the tools necessary for you to get back on track. Because sometimes you can't figure things out by yourself sometimes.
Yes.
And that's okay. It's okay to get a coach if you need to. That's okay to do that. You know, and not feel any shame at all or anything like that. So those are the things that we work on a different aspect that make a big difference. And we're going to cover more the rest of the firm, like the finances, fitness, friends and fun, the last one.
I love that. And everything that you mentioned, those 10 points that you mentioned today about partnership, if we stick to those 10 tips, we're able to then enjoy these F's. You can enjoy your finances, you can enjoy your business, you can enjoy your family and your friends because you're working on those things that you just mentioned. Replay this bad boy. This one is a really, really good episode. This was so good. Listen, online on the on the YouTube channel, you can see literally every single one of these episodes. There are a catalog. We're talking about whatever it is that you may be wanting to watch, whether it's about kids, whether it's about taxes, whether it's about home ownership. This one's going to go right in there with marriage and money so that people can watch this one as well. So good. I totally appreciate the fact that you jump on here every Tuesday to share so many wisdom nuggets for us so that we can, my husband's like, this was a great teaching for sure. And those that are watching the replay, because I know that a lot of our folks watch throughout the week, we're going to be getting messages about this one. This one was a good one. We're so glad that Eileen was with us today.
Yes. We're excited.
It was awesome. So that was part 1. You need to return next Tuesday, guys, so that you are able to enjoy part 2 as he continues and they continue to dig deep on the 7 F's in partnership. All right, guys, I will see you again next week.
See you next week. Excited.
Yes, this is awesome. Thank you so much. Be blessed in the Lord. We love you all. We will see you again next time. Bye, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to the Army Empire podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Join us next week for another exciting edition, and until then, keep building your empire.